All right, guys, welcome back to Ottenray Family Farm. So we're at the baling stage now, and here's our square baler. It's a New Holland Hayliner 67. Old, it's very old. Late 50s, I think they made it between 57 and 59, somewhere in there. So it's really old. I can only imagine it's probably had a million bales through it. I have no idea, but I know it's filthy as well. So just to give you an idea here what it looks like. And I got this baler 6 or 7 years ago, 6 years ago, on Craigslist, and the guy said, the advertisement said, New Holland baler, $500 works, new knotters. Okay, so I went and talked to the guy. He had a few pictures, and I actually got this in Posen, Michigan, which is a couple-hour drive from here normally. And so I got there, and it was in the guy's hay barn, and it was in about 6 inches of horse manure and 2 flat tires. So I had a tank of air with me, so I got the tires back up. They held air, surprisingly. And I got it rigged for pulling down the road, and everything was fine, and gave him his $500. And we got it, I drug it all the way back here from Posen. It took me, it was like 4 hours, I think. Luckily, I used to work over in that area, so I knew a lot of back roads and everything. And I was able to find an easy way to get home. But anyway, so I greased everything when we first got it. I checked all the fluids, which were fine, and hooked it to the tractor, and away we went. Hosed it off first, of course, which it does need to be hosed off again. But yeah, so we went away and we went to baling. Now, it normally, right out of the shed after a grease job, it'll miss, I don't know, the first couple 3 bales. I think that's just because the old twine is still in there usually, and it's trying to purge that. But the knotters were rebuilt right before we got it, or I shouldn't say that. They were rebuilt and not used much, even though it sat for a couple years before we got it. And the knives need a little sharpening, I think, to cut the twine, but it misses very few bales. It's been extremely reliable. Knock on wood, it'll continue to be reliable. It does need some loving, which we'll get to eventually, but it keeps working, keeps right on and chugging along, which is something to say for this old equipment and how people used to make things, 50 years ago. This thing is just phenomenal, and we don't do that much. We don't put that many bales through it anyway, but like I said, right out of the shed with some grease, she's ready to go, and it really does a fantastic job. So I try not to horse it too much. I mean, 1958, you didn't have a whole lot of horsepower to work with, and you wouldn't want to put that much horsepower on one of these little balers anyway. And our tractor is almost 70 horsepower engine and just over 50 horsepower at the PTO. So we have to be careful with that. I don't put three swaths into one windrow. I usually only put 2, and I go slow, and it seems to work. So hopefully we'll continue on with that, and we'll get baling here.